Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Alright, how's this doing? Actually, that's almost done. Alright, so let's go ahead and manage to save our final config last time. So, get all the scripts loaded. I might have to rename them at some point to make it clearer to users what's going on. Maybe I should even put the common in like a lib folder or something. But that's more of a release concern. Alright, window order is looking okay. So I'm trying to remember exactly... Oh, we were at the point where things were kind of working. I still have to change the descriptions in all these. And we had to start doing cross source, and this was just a random create a source thing. I wonder what that highlight is. Oh, are we like partially locked up here? Because usually that should... Oh yeah, my UI is totally disjoint from... So my video thread is locked up, my UI thread is not? Is that what's going on? Well... Bug, attached process. Oh, wait, oh, right. I might not actually be able to get debug symbols from this one. Seems like I had that problem before. Yeah, I can't actually get... I'd swear I had this work before, but... Oh! Okay, it crashed, just didn't know it yet. Can I open this one up? And is there anything useful here? OBS source get name, huh? Well, this is behaving now. So was that because I added or removed a source? Or because I loaded the scripts up partway through? Well. Anyway, I should probably be using this instance so that I can actually get debug symbols if I need to break in and see what's going on. Alright. Tools, scripts, I forgot about that little detail. Script log, yeah, fewer things going on. Okay. So hopefully that isn't a problem. What we need to start doing is... I think one of these I had some... Yeah, I started setting up the code for the cross-script communication. I wasn't quite ready for it, though. So one of the things we want to track is... Well, mute state's going to be important. And right now... Actually, we should have that in. I'd ultimately like that to be set up. Oh. Are you? Yeah, you exist. Oh, because that's the default rule. It's not even getting rule. Okay, well, yeah, so one thing is just, can we even get mute states over there? And then we'll have to figure out how we're going to send rules. So this is going to be sending, right now it's sending data exclusively to the status source. Status, load. Oh, we've already got some signal handler stuff. So that's the actual OBS activate, deactivate. So we should already get that. Yeah, so this was me not realizing we already had that. Mute, name. I tend to use string names to be less ambiguous, but this is a pretty straight translation from what OBS is sending, so we could probably do that level here. So it has to exist. We're going to listen to it, and then this actually will happen somewhere else. Source, mute. Okay, you've still got that. Oh. Right, you don't hook source. But you're not currently... What does that script log look right now? Are we outputting anything on filter create? Because as long as I don't enumerate sources, well, I'm not going to get create methods. So I'm not sure that you can usefully hook anything. All right, does this code still exist somewhere? Well, it exists in source control in a pinch. Wait a minute, you were hooking up source activate and source deactivate, which are not actually in this script. Yikes. Yikes. So source mute. Oh, for compatibility with this, it was an actual source. So create destroy, probably not. Hook source, then is probably not. But to make it compatible with the base one, it should be pointer source, that we can just kind of reuse that same code, I think. So then our main script is going to be doing all the data monitoring. Status, so connect listens to it. We might need that later. Now you do have a source mute. Yeah, and that's just call data. And I only care about the mute of audio sources, so kind of that's my filter. Oh, actually, yeah, I probably do have to prepare a call data, not send the arguments directly. All right, so script log, send mute. And status. You're probably actually not going to send anything. Receive mute. All right, so we've updated 2 scripts. Well, hopefully we don't have too many crashes. Ooh. Yeah, those video sources are the ones where it usually has the unload problem. So main thread. Oh, so this is actually setting it up? Oh no, because it's well, that's data insert, not data remove. We're actually in 2 levels of script right now. So reload script. I mean, we kind of know what script it is. So yeah, status monitor. So we call load. So load must be doing the entire processing. Then we hit register source. And usually it's the video thread that's causing us trouble, or no, it's graphics thread. Yeah, so this is... I don't know how to get around this. It's only on reload, and users won't typically hit that. Let's see, how do you describe this? It is... We're iterating the sources and then hitting the definition mutex, because we're checking to see if a function exists and maybe calling it. And then going for the script lock later. Well, only, yeah, originally it was a script lock, but that's only if it exists. So it doesn't exist, but we were still holding the definition mutex. Whereas the main thread... is holding the context mutex, which is the source's mutex, which the other one's iterating. And we're in the process of defining a source, so we are holding the definition mutex. Oh wait, source create private. Oh, so maybe I shouldn't be doing my label setup in the place where they provided to do that. Source, no. So I kind of need to do all of these. Oh, wait, isn't even source loaded the same thing? I wish I knew exactly which line. Okay, that's not source create private. So like all of these have to be lazy created elsewhere. Even though that's kind of what source def.create is for? We're obviously getting a problem, which that actually, I wonder if that's the same problem with source def.destroy. But I don't really have a choice on that one. It's your only chance to get rid of all this stuff. Hmm. All right. I suppose what I'm doing in most of these cases is... Wait. Oh yeah, any all white, any all yellow. And these are specifically changing the case so it prints nice. So basically, video render... wait, do you have to... Do you have to take... That's data. Okay, so I've got a crazy idea here. What if I should be taking the graphics lock when I create these? Which is really create label. Which shows up a couple times in here. Enter graphics, leave graphics. Well, no, really the only graphics piece is this. What? There we go. Oh no, I put it up here and didn't pull enough stuff apparently. Let's see if that fares any better. So that is just a status monitor update. Did it lock on startup now? So call func should have a... Why don't you have a file name attached? Signal callback. So this is enum sources, some scripting thing. And it's usually the graphics thread, which is trying to do a callback from VideoTick. So why are you activating? Now active. Oh, so this is like first time startup. We're doing an activate source. I shouldn't be enumerating. Oh, no, there's still one enumeration in the settings. Because the settings have to list. Well, maybe I have to send that from the other script. Settings, properties. Wish I could see the script log to see if that was actually firing. That will cut out the enumeration on that, on the filter. So was that a strict thing or just dumb chance that it happened? Okay, that was just a dumb chance. So which means I don't actually know if that code change affected it. Oh boy. Anyway, we're still not free of the deadlocks. So you were the one that got me in trouble last time. And you still get me in trouble. Okay, we're only in one call this time. So now we've got the context data remove one. Call destroy. Source release. Oh, so probably source release has to have the graphics context as well. Duh. No, we are in status. Nope. We're kind of right here. Oh, and look at this. We were just about to do that for this stuff. All right, so now this is a kind of a wider context. Tools, scripts. Nope, that's not the entirety of it. Oh, okay, so it's not... So it's just source create private. Okay, I can remove this one by moving that out. But I don't know how to free the script sources. So the graphics lock does not help here. The graphics state. Because tick sources probably doesn't take that. So tick sources has to take the source's mutex. When we get here, we have to take the definition mutex. Because we're checking for the existence of things, you don't want the script modifying it while we're working. Or any... yeah, this isn't script specific. No, this is OBS scripting. And then creating our labels... Basically, if it can happen at any time... Yeah... I kind of want this script to just run on the video thread, really. But you also run into script lock issues if video tick exists. Oh no, if video tick could exist. So this one we can work around by moving all of this stuff out of, or into render where the video thread will not be possibly doing stuff with it. So we want guards on that. Now, if data, I do this all over the place. How am I? But maybe not here. That's all status item. How am I checking this? All right. Data.labels. Actually, this is the... All right, so that one creates that only if needed in context. The all any are probably going to be a status item thing. And that is an operator. Yeah, rule.operator. And that depends if it's yellow or white. All right. Operator color. Actually, well, no, because any and all have to be very explicitly done. To have them nicely capitalized. Do I already have something called title in here? Yeah, it's a function parameter. Actually, that would be comparable. Well, no, because we have to set the color and the text. So if violation label equals rule.operator color equals text yellow. Equals rule.operator white, color equals text white. All right, so if data.labels label create label Set as font size, color. Oh, wait, This still doesn't solve the any all directly. I guess I just need to give up on capitalization. Wait. Okay, yeah, that's just the text. Oh, we don't want that to be just label. We need that to be rule.operator. So, yeah, we've got label, we've got text, font size, color. I'm starting to wonder if I need like a function that's just like, hey, make it if you need it, and then draw it. Gonna take a lot of arguments, but it is getting a little bit annoying. Oh, okay, that won't work for duration because we've got a special text. Actually, let's take a quick look at, yeah, just video render, video render. That creates white and yellow, just if they're maybe needed. I'll go set label text. Local draw label. It's going to look a lot like create label, except we need to know the, oh, I also have to specify the data. Data key name size color argument list a mile long. Name size color. Local function. And I'm pretty sure that this will actually ignore a nil if one exists. All right, source video render, So we should be able to do draw label heading data heading title status font size text color. So this could actually be reduced to a full draw call. Data roll.operator dot yellow roll.operator status font size text yellow. Roll.operator white text white. Data.labels name color. Oh, and this is probably, yep, where we set this stuff up. Let's get our it was, yeah, source video render, get you down here. So, data, name color, title is just name. This is status font size, and it is text yellow. White, which is already making me regret some of the features of this. So yeah, that was a convenient way to draw them. Wait, yeah. OBS source video render. Duration is still special because we have to set the text inside of it. And it's always one color. So we got draw label, which could almost have explicit code for yellow red at this point. Oh, except this one's gray. All right, so that means that our create should no longer be doing source create private in its startup. So that's one less case where we can have crashes or deadlocks. Hey, we reloaded without crashing. Now we still gonna have our unload problem, but that's remarkably non-crashy there. Oh, I was starting to do messaging, and then I had to solve all this junk. Okay, so I don't know if source create actually needs to enter graphics. Image did that, but an image I could see actually being a graphics thing. Sources aren't necessarily video, but it is a free type source, which is kind of a graphics thing. And did we still don't have this doing anything useful. Minus M, rearrange, make all label creation, as needed to avoid deadlocks in source create. All right, now what are we doing with our, if we can avoid, deadlocks for a while, what are we actually doing with this mute stuff? Okay, we're sending and we're not receiving. Signal handler connect. Wait, does source mute? Oh, we're just getting mute directly from the source. So my signature is now wrong because I'm just passing on the call data. That might be part of it. All right, script log. We're trying to send it. Now I know for simpler cases this works. Oh, I need to get the other signal handler. I need to get Lua Y. Lua Y. SH, what's that? Sure, it doesn't matter. We'll just ignore that variable. Obviously, you intended to reference something that has never existed before. Hey, I'm not using it. Oh, that's the desktop audio. No, I'm still not using it. But it's getting there. Now, this might be audio. Yeah, I have rules. I don't have sources. Well, and some of this is going to be in the common. This is Bootstrap rule settings. That's the filter, that's the base. Default rule. Settings. But that can show up in filter as well, which is why it's shared. So that says if we have a rule about it, then we want to pretend that audio source exists. So for the status monitor, well, we need to know the initial state of the audio sources. We should probably assume that if we get a mute event for something that it exists. That would be a step. But we also have to be able to bootstrap their initial state. So let's see, let me take that a little bit easier to figure out here. Status. So probably one of my bootstrap procedures here should send the initial state of all audio sources. Audio sources equals info. Yeah, so this is like rebuilding everything. So now what we need to do is I have to do a little bit of experimenting here. Is it going to be call data T or is it going to be can probably reuse this. Well, first we have to should probably... just to be safe. Oh, and then I have to free it. Call data set pointer. Call data source. Let's set string. Yeah, name pointer. Source. Hopefully that works. And then signal handler signal. Ugh. All right, you can be done once. And it got removed from the actual original source. Okay. All right, so initialize that view of things. That's just in the one script, right? I've changed both of them recently. It's mainly that one. And oh, except now this one has to reinitialize to send the data to it. And oh, this is where I have to make sure it exists. So exists might be another thing, but just ooh, this has to be an if not exists. So we're gonna want a name just in case. Cache equals name equals name. Status equals status. That's really all we know right now. Oh, no, I can't do that. I have to do audio sources. No, I didn't want you. Because that's not going to, no, it's not going to be anything. So that's a status monitor update. And then you have to run to initialize things. Oh. Okay. Did I actually try passing data in my cross? I did not try passing data. Oh boy. So let's try something simple. Well, step one is get a call data to exist. You know what? Actually, this is probably a good time to dump OBS. Because I know they pointed out the vec functions before, which actually existed. Wait. Why is this so much less? There's something messed up in my build process for this custom version. I still actually obviously have rough access to a lot of things. There's OBS. That's the kind of delay I was expecting. Now, is that instead some sort of deadlock, or is that just still takes a while to print? Oh boy. Well, there's some like scroll. Well, yeah, Lua script log. Aha. Yeah, so that like wasn't printing out with the script prefix and all sorts of weird stuff. Yeah, so there's like vec4, vec2. Now, I guess I should look back at, let me pull up that. That in streamer mode. I should probably only have one browser window over here. So somewhere in OBS land, I had asked. You could create graphics like vectors and things. Any struct from OBS Studio. Yeah, vec2. It's just that function. So if call data, so it's the question, is it call data or is it call data t? It's call data. Which is a name I went and used in a couple places. Hopefully it didn't overwrite anything. But it is call data, not call data t, so that's one thing. Was I actually operating in B? Oh, no, I guess I wasn't doing either of them. Okay. Local cd equals, obs.calldata. That's probably it. And then obs dot, which means it's not actually a name collision at all. All right. Yeah, received, would you do anything with it? Oh, weird. It's affecting this, but I'm not getting the icon change. No, oh, that's the rule. That's the rule. But it's saying, yep, that's the condition we set. Okay. Let's see. Send. Oh, and we need to check. Well, it does that technically every time we examine sources, which should happen regularly. But if we restart the status source without, or if the basic one loads first, it's not going to send initial status over. So probably I need a signal for, hey, I'd like to receive the data. And that has to be on a timer. Although timer is our main thread, but that's a relatively simple thing. Because we don't know what order these things are going to start up in. And if anything, it's probably going to be the displayed order. Well, we actually can test that. Oh, was I paused? Anyway. So mic check. Well, it's... Is it receiving multiple times? Okay, it must be getting initial... Okay, well, if it gets startup state messages, the only issue would be script refresh. Oh, yeah, this is not the listed order. Status monitor loads before filter. Although, this would be... No, status sources. So this should be all strictly alphabetical. I don't know. So that would tell me that the order is either order added or not guaranteed. Oh, the send mutes come in later. Which is weird because I call that from script load. Alright, so what I kind of want to do, just to give me a little peace of mind here, is... No, that's not send mute. Oh, that's for... Oh, so it's getting a bunch of status updates. So which sources are we receiving here? Desktop audio. Desktop audio. Mic, desktop audio. Mic, podcaster. Mic, desktop audio. Podcaster, podcaster. Wow. Wait a minute. This is a custom event. Oh, this must happen every time I enumerate. Which I guess is actually maybe happening, well, a bit on startup. Live, 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 live. And the status isn't changing that much. So I probably need to track down some of the causes of that. Because I think I am over enumerating. It was just kind of paranoia. Yeah, like source create, I mean, we could technically get a function. Source destroy, we could technically update that. So script load, got to do it once. Event scene changed. That's going to change the visibility of everything. So this is kind of, well, the annoying thing here, I can't actually make those comment if I turn this into a function. Oh, and it needs the current scene to see if it's in the current scene. Well, maybe we should have a whole bunch of messages. Okay. The big thing now is that no, actually this is alarm if muted, yeah. None of that gets communicated to here. I don't suppose call data serializes to JSON or anything. So I'm not really sure how pointer would work. With a Lua table. Seems kind of weird. I mean, there's a C-level object there, right? Well, yeah, but it's crossing script boundaries, so that wouldn't make any sense. So what is... Well, call data can be fairly detailed, but that's actually a common thing now, isn't it? Well, I guess default roles could be different messages that'll be more annoying at that point. And just calling another named rule. At some level, there's a rule there. That maybe in the protocol I do a separate thing for default rule. So timeout it doesn't need, operator it needs, and audio states it needs. So we would have to, so call data would probably need separate messages for operator and each audio state. Unless I could use OBS data to make JSON, I think. I'm still going to have to pick that JSON apart manually. Data create from JSON. Get the JSON string. And you can set data in data. So I can represent this. Wait, I thought you could set data in data. A data object, set object, data object. Oh, you can't enumerate a data object, can you? So I can't really use key value pairs. I would have to use arrays of data objects. At which point it becomes awkward enough I just want to send different signals. Yeah, I'd be inserting data objects with like name and value. Although I guess, and the ordering could be a bit awkward. I could iterate through the data trying every audio source I know. Because I should be getting current audio status on all of them. And then that will be a bit reusable when I come to sending serializing source rules as well. So serializing a rule is going to be a common thing. Are we currently at rest here? Oh. We're like in the middle of doing something. Send audio status updates to status script. So we need so update rule settings kind of makes sense. Timeout operator for each audio source disabled. Serialize. So we would expect to be obs.data, because it's OBS data. Yeah. Oh no, wait, there's an OBS data create. And then we're going to have a free, I presume. OBS data release data. Also, we're going to need the one nested in that. OBS data set string data operator rule. Oh no, this is an int. No, I'm thinking of the timeout. And status doesn't currently do anything with whale. No, it does need the timeout because it changes color based on it. OBS.OBS data set int data timeout rule.timeout rule.operator obs.obs data set obj states obs.obs data set for rule dot for name state equals pairs rule dot audio states do end states name state local JSON equals OBS data get JSON. And then return. All right, so this is something we can test. So script update. Oh, actually, this is just going to be a Oh, you're actually going to have to be before this so I can call you. Bootstrap rule settings. Dump rule, serialize rule. So that should be a nice way to dump the rule. Update rule settings. Hey, look, we already dumped the rule. Script log, serialize rule. Do I have a script log? I don't have scripts. It's kind of noisy at the moment. $34. Unexpected near. Okay. What? Did I really not call OBS anything? OBS.OBS. Expected 3 to 3 args, got 1. Oh, yep. Data. Hey. I don't think the timeout. Oh. You should have been defaulting to 5. And maybe it'll actually be more. Okay. So now we need to deserialize rule. So we're going to need, it's going to be very similar actually. So we're going to need to make data objects. Well, the state's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have to get the object and then probably deck a reference to it. I don't know. Create from JSON. A new reference to a data object. So obs.obs data get int data timeout roll. Yeah. Oh. I'm going to have to use a dump rule to see what this did. Okay, so for now we'll use a separate object. I could do some shorthand for this, but... Data operator. An incremented reference to a data object. OBS data get obj. So, it's not rule.audio states. This is going to be for our audio sources name. Okay. Gotta be careful with audio source. Audio in pairs, audio sources do. You know what? Audio states equals, you're also going to be a table. Definitely have to have that. If obs.obs data get string name, no, states name, if state not equal to nil, then roll.audio states name equals state. Oh, you know what? I actually was having this as... No, it was sparse. That's right. Because that's exactly what I serialized. Okay, return rule. And you have to release our references. Dump rule. Deserialize Aha. Okay, podcast muted, mic aux, desktop audio alarm equals, okay. So it is returning a blank string. So we just have to consider that an invalid value. There we go. And now, all right, so serializing, deserializing was kind of a big thing. Functions to serialize, deserialize a rule. Now, well, I've got those functions, so it wouldn't be too big a deal to separate source from default as a message. I still have to actually look into how I'm, because I think I might be putting the source name in the rule for the other sources. Show how would, if I sent a signal, how would reference counting work? Well, no, I probably don't want to mess around with data objects, even though there'd be some efficiency in that. I could just make my signal string, and I don't have to worry about any of the reference counting and ownership stuff. In theory, I could take that as a pointer, though. Skip the intermediate parsing. You know, from what I've seen, signals are synchronous. Ooh. I hope that doesn't cause trouble with needing to have two script locks to call a script handler, signal handler. Well, let's try. Let's do it with JSON and consider data as an optimization later. So the main thing. Oh, this is going to send an update for everything. If it's in that, well, we can isolate it to default rule for now. Lua mic check. We're just going to call it default for now because that's all it means. And it is a string. It's the rule, but it's... just a name at this point. And then that has to be in status. Where we add it and connect it. Update default rule. Local function, local update default rule equals function of call data, right? Oh, I still have to do the whole call data dance. Is it function do end? Or just, okay. Just function get a different color thing. Still got to do the call data dance. And the exact methods of doing that are a little bit... I guess I could make a series of helper functions for the signaling, just to kind of... Well, no, because I know in the one case I keep a common copy of it. All right. So we need the signal handler. We need call data. All right. Okay, that's that cleanup. So the signal handler, we need the call data. We need set string. Yeah, because that's the name we gave the parameter. Serialize rule. Oh, you know what? We only want to send this in for default right now. Call data, free the call data. Yeah. Might be something to package up. We'll have to see where else we use that. This is almost certainly going to have throw some fits on me. Oh. We didn't receive update, though. Oh, well, this has to be also reloaded. Receive update. To the signal sent. All right, status monitor needs to obs.obs call data get string. Local rule equals I can really just say here default rule equals deserialize JSON. And then we've got dump rule, right? Okay, and then this one will send it. Failed to call. Oh, just call data string. Unlike, unlike almost any other OBS method. Or at least, it's different than data. So that's the receiving end. Receive, hey. All right, so that's one rule sent over the wire, so to speak. Send the default rule to status monitor. All right, we still got a little bit of time. So now the trick is our filter needs also to communicate. Well, it's going to broadcast its rules. So if the main thread can send alarms or sound alarms, or the main script, and the status can display what things are up. Although, yeah, we'll eventually have to work on like startup conditions and things as far as making sure data is all synchronized. Alright, I should probably work on doing this sooner, but it's a good time for me. Take a little break, stretch, refresh my water, all that stuff. I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, welcome back. And that's still got a little while to go. Alright, so we managed to communicate the... And this does live update, right? I've already got scripts open. Yep. Okay, cool. So now we need to get... So this, first of all... Well, it'll actually be... Well, no, they're different things. This needs to know what audio sources are available. And then this needs to know what all these settings are for each source. So I'm already sending source mute state, which is kind of So filter. What are you doing with audio sources? So you're relying on the name. And that's about it. Barring anything that gets used in the common code. It's rebuilding the entire thing from Bootstrap. Source.name, 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 source.name. Okay, source.name, source.name. I don't think filters ever run the rule. Yeah, so really all you need is the source names, which it should be able to pick up from all the status mute things we're already sending for the other one. Monitor, script load. Filter, script load. Monitor, source mute. Oh, script filter stack crash. How about settings? That looks a little bit better. And we don't care about status. I mean, we can pretty much just say audio source's name equals name, and this one will be good. Now, this won't gracefully handle removal of a source. It'll go disappear next time you run. So we reload that, and then we're probably gonna have to reload the other one to get the list send out, the main one to get the list send out. And oop. Okay. Oh, we hit a check alarm. Well, okay, so where are we doing this? Filter? 126. Oh no, that's common. Oh. Oh. Well, we're still checking it on a timer when we're checking it, so that's fine. Just doesn't get an immediate response. And that's technically common, but only you're going to matter. So any live. Okay, so that is communicating the existence of things so we can do properties on them. Communicate audio source list to settings script. And now we have to deal with, I think, no, settings is better. I don't know, well, does it directly involve this? It would be, yeah, source rules. Oh, I also need to communicate that to the main, yeah, for the alarms. Dot name equals name. Update filter info. Oh, yeah, because I have to timer these for later. Okay. Okay. Update filter info, which is just watching the source name. So I'm actually going to want to look for essentially changes. Doesn't OBS have a signal like this already? Source is being saved. Source is being loaded. You know what? I was starting to poke at those at one time. And maybe I determined that... Maybe I got distracted by a deadlock. Or maybe I determined that they didn't fit my needs. Because if I like reload a script, those won't fire, for instance. Where's the source rename? So that would catch that. And that's a global signal. Well, no, it wouldn't have the filter ID then. So update filter info. We should probably have that watch for when it actually gets the name the first time, or if it's different. Then I could send out, well, so we'll have update settings, filter update, which when anytime OBS updates the settings. So I'm probably going to want a sub function that takes care of all the, well, also rules can have names. And it'd be really nice to put that into the update process. Can I bump caps lock? Yeah, there we go. Script update. So we got this big process. So this could be parameterized with the signal and the rule. And then I would have a generic-ish function. Serialize could be set up to handle the name if it's not there. Or I could just, so we have update. And we also have to deal with potential source renames. Could you subscribe to the source rename channel? Might be the easiest way to handle that. Oh. I had filter IDs. Right, I had to use IDs because I didn't know the name. And setting updates are probably going to come in before I have the name too. Although that could be determined maybe? Source rules filter.id. So we're counting on having an ID here. And also resetting this to, well, we don't expect this to happen, but we've got filter update. Got update filter info. Clear filter. Didn't I? Filter def.update. Shouldn't it have to do that with loaded settings? Oh. Oh, because yeah, we have to, yeah, there's the order of operations again. So these scripts might need a way to request live audio sources. But I'm not getting a filter update. Do filter create get their old settings? Oh, filter, unlike, I think with script load. Oh, you get bootstrap rule settings. Okay. So I'm going to have to send, yeah. So when I get bootstrap, I'm going to have to send what I've got. No, I'm going to have to wait till filter up to filter bootstrap to get the name to send what I've got. Or I say the name is like, well, I might have to include the ID in the message. Yeah, I could just make it a separate message that includes a filter ID int. So we could send that information. And I'm eventually going to have to get the name to associate that to a... And assume we do get a name at some point that will get our initial settings over. Hmm. All right, so yeah, filter IDs are because we have to record settings before we get a name. But they were kind of a nice way to handle things, I guess. But we're always going to have that when we send a message, so we can send like source rule messages. Source mute. Okay, so this actually isn't too much to pull stuff out. Might need to do this. I might actually need to put that into common because both the status monitor and the alarm main processor need to do receiving that message. Do you have a script load? All right, we've got this. It's going to be more like main script load. Going to add something like that. Oh, yep, it is an add. Default rule. So currently have name as part of it. And we'll have to get into serializing that. Mic check. Source rule. Oh, and you're going to need to connect to it. No, wait, source settings. You're going to send it. Oh. But IDs are not... No. There's only one script for the filters. It'll still be managing data for all the filters. And still count on IDs getting incremented. Now, if you reload one script and reset the ID counter, things are gonna all go to heck, but I just have to live with that, I guess. So you... That script load. So filter def create. Hopefully doing a send here doesn't cause trouble. But it looks like we might need at least 2 places to update this. All right. Script update. Oh, I actually have to set the ID on this. This is going to be different. Can't commonize code there. No, this is in create. Is it create? Do we care until we have a name? I guess it's a place to do something. Set int ID filter.id serialize rule source rules filter.id. Oh, mic check. Am I off by a character here? And then the first thing is to see if that is even received. So default rule is currently received by status monitor. JSON, rule JSON, dump rule, just do a quick one of those right for now. Script, load. We need both of these. Probably should have copied this. So that'll be still leave. We're not actually going to put any data in yet. I just want to see if it gets received. Oh. We actually have to reload that to get rid of it. You haven't changed yet. Uh-oh. Did we do something new, or is this just an old one that's catching us? Context data remove. So it's source release. So I could just leak the labels. That would be one way to do it. Normally wouldn't matter. And obviously my initialization order is not correct. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to turn down the volume here. Receive default. I probably didn't add do the function name. Yep. All right. Oh, no, that's a status monitor thing. And status monitor resetting its labels is where we get... I might just leak the labels and maybe OBS will crash someday. Status monitor, destroy. Frequently deadlocks OBS when reloading, unloading in general. Of course, now to get that in, we have to reload, which sometimes works. Okay. Receive source. Is that right? That is not right. That was supposed to bootstrap from settings. Oh, it actually created... Oh dear. Well, no, if the other source was up, it's fine, but that is disconcerting. That the signal would be added after the signal would be sent? Oh no, yeah, and here's its interpretation of its settings. We did not receive that. Source rules, filter ID. Where do we dump from? Not from here. From Bootstrap rule settings. So we said Bootstrap rule settings, and we printed something out. Well, see if it serializes right. That was in the settings. That appears to have serialized okay. Do I have to retrieve call data items in order? All right, so I have to reload you. And then you actually send the update. Oh, but you don't have an audio source list. Oh. Yeah, so you're probably going to have a way to request that every time you start up. Okay. In fact, I'm going to have to do that for sanity, so I don't have to go reloading the other script every single time just to get the list of audio sources. Okay. But we've successfully gotten... Well, we haven't really done anything with it. We can probably finish this. And we've currently got these defined in common. So we should be able to say source rules ID equals rule. And we still have to sort out sending name. So status monitor, reload. Give me a list of audio sources, and then send the update. Hey, yeah, so there's no title. We still have to deal with visibility changes. But it knows that a thing exists. Get initial filter state to status. Get initial filter rule to status. All right, so for general sanity, status is going to need to request the list of sources from the master script, or for whoever answers, so that I can reload it and we'll get everything. And we can also do that in our other script. Kind of wondering if I shouldn't try to turn everything into sort of Elm style setup. We got a sort of single switch for all your events. Just run through everything to a well, I guess I'd basically end up serializing everything to JSON and sending it through, which is a little bit overkill for the source ones where I already got a pointer handy. All right. Of course, now I got this thing in the back of my mind where I'm wondering, well, if I've found all the deadlocks by the time I'm done with here, to the point that I don't need to split the scripts anymore. Because like the loading and unloading graphics was one. We just kind of ignore that. Of the labels. We stopped using video tick. Well, there's still the attempt to video tick crossing up with enumerating sources. So that's at least two pieces. And we need to have separate script locks to avoid issues. All right, so main script. Script load. Connect. Okay, there's the ones it sends. Lua mic check. Request. This is the audio sources. So I guess we do this for now. Or should I just, well, I don't have the messages right now. I do have the means to send the mute status, because that's basically just an examine. And which can go back on existing channels, but you have to receive this one. Front end event, source create, source destroy, source mute. Right now, I think it's just going to do an examine. Oh. Something. Yeah, okay, so yeah, examine sends that. And there's source mute. I guess this is kind of along the lines of front end event. Oh. If I get a signal that says send me signals and it's synchronous, well, no, if it's in the call stack, I should still have the script lock of the first script. Or no argument. Yeah, you're no arguments. Ooh. So hopefully, because it doesn't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Before I get all this stuff set up, let's see just how this does respond to a clean start. Just so we got a baseline. Okay, everything still appears to be operable. I don't know if all of my message order is right, and I'm spamming spam, spam, spam. Okay, thanks. Anyway, so this is code. It's only interesting if you like code. We've had fun problems with... so it's not stopped right now, but with lots of deadlocks happening inside OBS. So if you're interested in streaming, hey, it's streaming software. I'm trying to make scripts to warn me when I mute my mic by mistake. And I actually have that working in OBS WebSockets, kind of, but I have to remember to open this extra thing every time. And you have to have OBS WebSockets installed. So I'm trying to get that set up as script, and now it's become scripts because of the deadlocks. So yeah, it's been an adventure. We've got lots of things with this. It holds a lock for the scripts, and like it's iterating sources, so it has to do that to draw all the sources. And then something in the script where it's holding the lock tries to iterate sources. Yeah, so iterating, you iterate the sources, you say, hey, this one has a script method. Now I did a script lock. Versus I had the script lock and I need to iterate the sources and they get all crossed up and OBS freezes. So that's no fun. So the main thing I'm trying to do, besides stomping down things where I see them, is actually make it separate scripts to reduce the times these script locks come into conflict. So these two are video sources, so it can take those fine, while this one iterates these sources with a different script lock, and hopefully that takes care of that. So unfortunately, now I have to set up communication between all of these things. So, yeah. That's adding tons of complexity, and debugging that means it's really spammy on the output. I should probably reduce this sometime soon, when I'm still kind of keeping an eye on what's going on. So right now, I'm starting to set it up where these things can say, hey, I just started up. Can you send me the list of all of the audio sources? So, like, I don't know how this turned out. So actually, yeah, that actually, nothing nasty happened when we started up, and this has a complete list. Although now I guess I'm not sending that message yet. So this was a decent startup. But now if we reload tools scripts, the script that's doing that, and then look at the filter, we're not getting all the options, only the ones it had settings for. So we seemed to have had no problem setting up a receiver for that message. So, script load. We have the definition for that, so we'll start with the settings filter. Script load. So OBS is a general signal system where we can define custom signals, and so far got that to kind of work out okay. So we're going to add that. So we don't need to listen to it, so we just need to add it. And then, so this would happen on load. I don't know if it's wise to do this on load. I might need to do this on a timer. Signal handler signal. Script load. So we need Lua, my check, request audio sources. It has no parameters. So now we check. Yeah, you're gonna be kind of up. Too many windows. So yeah, reload that one. And we just broke something. So now we get to go into CLand and see exactly which script lock that was. So that's the general mutex. So this is full lock on the video lock. Oh, I've seen this one before, I think. Scene find source. Call func. Can I figure out which function it is? I have no drill down into any of these. Well, that is a signal callback. Signal handler signal. Oh. So I have to call signal find source. What's the driver here? Reload script. Lua script load. Don't we have a lock yet? So there's a data mutex in play here. And then we're loading the script, and it's sending a signal handler, which is calling a Lua function. So yeah, anything I do is going to trigger a... It's going to be Lua calling Lua. But I don't have to do it in script load. So function defer request audio sources. No, we need to remove you. We need to copy you, so we have the OBS master signal handler. And then we do obs.timer add. A little bit later. Or this could be, oh, I wonder if this is because we're a signal handler causing signals. Okay, we didn't even start up that time. Signal callback. Now, we don't have as much. So what? This is in the scripting module, so that's going to be the script lock. Source do signal. No, source, load source type. Load sources. So we've got the sources. Oh. Do you have this? You have the sources mutex. No, that should be fine. Signal callback. Now, you know what? This is probably the same issue I had before, where I had to defer this. So front end. Yes. And I've just been using event as that because I was expecting to use it for front end events. Now, Lua is loosely typed, so I can be really loose about this. Examine. And this is just going to be deferring examine so far. And since that's already kind of deferred to a timer, I might not even need... all right, so these are separate things. Hey, the program loaded. So actually, let's go ahead and see if we can remove that defer. Settings, defer. Keep it a little bit simpler till we try it out. Okay, we started up. We did not get the list initially this time. Ooh. Monitor. The properties. Filter properties. Alright, so there's no locks. So we don't need you. So now we just have to track down if this is source mute. So you're not receiving the mute signals. Script log, send mute. We also have to deal with request. Got request audio. Process request audio. Tools, scripts, script log. So you've been changed. Error loading file. Fabulous. 89. That would explain a lot. Ah, that old bug. Okay, now that happened because it was startup time. Okay, and now we were actually able to send mute, receive mute. Okay. Settings, receive mute. What? And now you betray me? Oh my gosh. Oh, I still gotta send mute here. I didn't break something. Send mute, receive. Did I remove that? Send mute, receive mute. It's only sending desktop audio. Oh no, that's per send. Mic aux. Receive mute. Podcaster alarm. So that thread, settings filter, says it received that. So what the heck? Oh, but it didn't receive a property update? Huh, it was doing that before. Okay. Used to be every time I clicked into it, it got a properties. Oh, I wonder if it's connected to the old script. Huh. Huh. Print it to do spam. Alright, and no one's complaining about that. It's that our monitor is still very... still very spammy. Okay. So, filter receive list of audio sources. Plus some cleanup. Filter settings, requests, list of audio sources. And actually, it should be pretty trivial to now have settings do the same thing. Script load. Status. Script load. So now I should also be able to oh, you also need that got the status to work, but you also have to request the default rule. Status requests initial audio sources. Now, arguably, I could have that as a single message that would just kind of translate to, hey, send everything. Oh, I do want to differentiate that a little bit. Based on who needs the information. So, well, yeah, because status manager is going to request default rule. The main thing doesn't need it. Main thing's going to need to, both main and status are going to need to request source rules from the filters. Well, that might be a decent place to break. Because it's just kind of plowing through signals right now. We need startup rules to status, startup source rules to monitor filter might have everything it needs. Those are the big ones. Oh, we still have to deal with source rule names to status. Well, no. Still have to serialize source rule names to actually have anything work. That's what I can think of. All right, probably should have marked this as winding down. Thanks to Dog and Lake, Strictly Phased, Glenn Jellybean, Haskin TV, SCS Dev, and they all moved around on me. Sprite Gaming, Haskin TV, Jellybean, Pants Taken, Deadly Tacos, Cat Knox, Naked Osprite Gaming. Anyway, thanks for all the hosts. Actually, there is might be somebody watching. Can we make Windows, please? Can we make any recommendations? Let's see. It's been a little bit since we've done programming tutors, so he hangs out, works on his thing, and if anybody's got questions, he can try to answer them. So if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. So the plan should still be Astro this afternoon, as long as nothing comes up. Bye.